I made a previous video on shooting an expired 110 film with a Agfagmatic 1008 pocket, and I got a comment that said how bad the quality was, and something. I think the remark was, "What a bad quality! Sure, it's old, but what was that?" And yes, ironically, I answered, "Glad you like it, because I like the expired film look." But I must admit, when I received the film and the results, I wasn't that happy with the quality. So making this short video, because I scanned another film I made with that Agfagmatic pocket. At the time, I didn't did much of it because I was a bit disappointed by the first trial. And the first trial I sent to a lab. I'm not showing which lab it is, but I sent the film to develop to a lab, and then sent me a piece of paper like that, the scans plus printed pictures, which look okay on paper, and those are the ones that I showed. Well, not all of them, but sort of them, but I showed on the previous video I made. And I must admit, this is very grainy. The colors were really bad, and you see it's especially those one you add the drawings of the film. So, and that's the first thing. I was a bit surprised. Maybe it was a very old film, but also I was a bit disappointed because I did not receive the film back. So I sent it on the post. I received the prints. I received the scans with a web link, but not the film back. So I wasn't able to scan the film again. So the next film I took to a lab that I know, that has a mini lab still working, and I had it developed. So it's interesting to see the difference between this is 35mm film, this is 110 film. So this is very small, not really easy to grab. Yep, right. So you see, you have the pictures there, each separated with a little hole, and it's very difficult to scan because I have no holder for it. For 35mm film, I can stick them into an holder in my Epson scanner, which is a flatbed scanner with holders for films, and it works. But for that one, it's not that easy. So what I did, I just put them in position and took a plate of glass on top to have it flat, and scanned it. And I will show you some of the results, and I think they are much nicer than the one I got from the lab. So if you have to do it, I would advise to scan it yourself, because my guess is that they don't have the material up to date to scan 110 films. So they do what they can, and it's very, I don't know how precisely they scan, and you see the film is much smaller. So 110 film is a very small picture compared to what you get on a 35mm, which is bigger. So the resolution is lower, but then I tried. And the second film I scan, I will show you some of the photos and comment on them. One first comment is when you shoot those films, right? I made the mistake. The beginner mistake is you've got, so on some of the photos my finger is showing, because as this is very small, I have the tendency to shoot like that, and my finger comes a bit in front on some of the pictures. So you have to be very careful when you shoot to remove your fingers, because when you look here, you don't see, it's not a reflex, so you don't see that you have your fingers in front, like a lot of those non-reflex cameras. So the first remark. Then I was more happy when scanning the results. We'll see that, and I'll comment on that. So it's not something to do perfect pictures for sure. 100 tel films, if it's expired, it's even worse. A small film, but it's fun. It's easy to carry around, so it gives you some different pictures, different looking pictures. So I still like it. It's a bit expensive for the fun. So when I had it developed and printed, it was a bit expensive. So I prefer just to have the roll of films developed. It's the same price as a 35mm film, and then you have to find a way to scan it. But I think I recommend that. So that's all sorts for today. I will show some of the picture, maybe even make some comparison with ones coming from here and the ones being scanned, and maybe it's just the film that was better conserved than the previous one, but I think it also has to do with the way it was scanned. So let's have a look at that. So this is one of the first photos that I show on a roll, and with a new roll, and you see it's quite okay. Even, we'll compare with the previous roll from about the same spot, same mountains, but from the other side of the lake, taken with the previous roll, the one that was scanned from the lab. This one I scanned myself, and this one is coming from the lab. You see, there's a huge difference. And I will show another picture that I took walking around the lake, also from the previous roll, and when you got this very grainy aspect, as you can see. And I swapped the rolls on this way, walking around. So the next photo is taken with a new roll that I scanned myself. So again, I think it's much better, much less grainy. And although the color is from expired film but it looks much better. And now we will have a look at the next photos from that new roll. No more old rolls. If you want to see the old ones, you will have a look. But I show you when I scan a bit larger, so you see the red, green color construction, and via crop, so that I'm sure to get all the picture. And this is the crop picture. As you see, it was taken in 2020 in July, and it still had that vintage look. And if you don't know, you might think it's from the 70s, and I quite like it, or the 80s maybe. This is a photo of my son. As you can see on the right, my finger effect, when you put your finger in front of the lens, on the side of the lens, that's what it does, and it's a bit of a pity, but it happens a lot with that kind of camera. At least I do that a lot. This is an example when something went wrong and the photo came in between two frames, so I still scan it because it came to a bit of a surprise. And the next photos are from the field next to the house, when I quite like the colors and the look. This is something that can rather well. This is a bit overexposed, I would say, but the next one is my favorite one, because I took the same tractor in between trees, and it gives a nice effect. I quite like it for the kind of film you can get. It's okay. So again, you won't get perfect shots with 110 films. Also with expired film, you might get some surprises. I would advocate to scan it yourself and have only the roll developed, because I'm not sure when it came from the lab you see a huge difference. Again, please tell in the comments what you think. Bye bye.